This is the Randi Rhodes Show. To speak with Randi, dial 561-270-3844. That's 561-270-3844.
This is Representative Jim McGovern. He was on the floor. He's part of the Rules Committee. He's the ranking member. He's from Massachusetts. Did I mention that? And so he was on the floor last night because the House is, remember that bill I told you that they wanted to strip not-for-profits, nonprofits from their tax-exempt status, right? And we don't have a Treasury Secretary named yet. So we don't know who that person is. And that's where the stripping of the not-for-profit status would come. It would come from the Treasury Department. So they're debating whether or not they should, they first fast-tracked it, which means it needed 2/3 majority, okay? And it didn't get a 2/3 majority, so some of us took a deep breath and went, oh, good, dodged a bullet there. Because people who like NPR, people who like PBS, people who like Free Speech TV, people who like Pacifica Radio Network, and other not-for-profits that cover news. You know, the Associated Press is a not-for-profit. Do you realize that? Yes, it is. Wikipedia is also a donor-supported, effort. So they're threatening, a lot of people with this crazy piece of legislation, H.R. 9495 it's called, and they're couching it under, as if we were still at the war on terror. That was still going on. They're saying that any broadcaster, any network, any outfit, any person, place, thing that in Donald Trump's unilateral judgment, swear to God, is deemed to be expressing sympathy for a terrorist organization, or is a terrorist organization, or is doing violence for a political end, which would pretty much describe the January 6th insurrectionists. They did violence, hoping for a political end. The political end was to install Donald Trump as their president way back after, he lost the 2020 election, right? They're in jail now. He wants to pardon them. But if the dictionary definition of terrorism is what it is, and that is violence done in the name of achieving a political result, you make the decision. But Donald Trump wants the ability to deem anybody who disagrees with him, or any organization who supports people who disagree with him, as terrorist organizations, and then strip them of their not-for-profit status. This in the same breath as Donald Trump would like to purge the military of 4 stars and 3 stars and 2 stars and 1 stars, and maybe even your full bird colonel and a light colonel somewhere along the line might be a victim to this. But he wants to purge them if they're not sufficiently loyal to him. And also, reports by the Heritage Foundation, reports on the Heritage Foundation, that they are pursuing plans. You know that they're pursuing plans to fire an extraordinary number of civil servants. You know that, right? To put in loyalists. So how are they going to purge? How are they going to, do this? How are they going to know who's loyal and who's not, and who to interview and who? Because there's over 1 million people we're talking about in this case, right? CNN reported Monday that they were scared by the reports that the Heritage Foundation is pursuing plans to scan government workers' emails and text messages for any sign of liberal bias that would be considered being supportive of terrorism, liberal bias. And a Wall Street Journal report said that Donald Trump needs to, or he wants to, purge disloyal generals. Now, if you understand that, the social media types, the Peter Thiels of the world, the algorithm writers, the Elon Musks of the world, have the ability to do this now. It's not, just some fairy dust, pixie dust. It's not just wishful thinking. It can actually be done. They can actually, especially, when you consider, like, if you use Gmail is not private. I don't know if you understand that the reason why you might get advertising targeted to you if you use Gmail and you talk about something with your friend that you really like, I don't know, tiger toes. What the hell? Yeah, tiger toes. It's fabulous. Tiger toes. I have a dog. He's old. You know that, Alan. He's 13. He has very, very weak legs. And sometimes they splay on the tile floors or on the fake wood floors that I have. Pergo, it was called in the day. And I thought it was fabulous. A fabulous way to get that wood look without the wood price, which I couldn't afford. But it's very slippery. And so he just splays on the floor. He doesn't, he's not able to actually hold himself up or, like run for the toy without his legs just splaying. So a friend of mine, we were emailing, and he was telling me that he had also a 13-year-old. I believe his breed was Cavalier King Charles. Beautiful. King Charles Cavalier. I don't know. Beautiful dog. The one from Sex and the City, Elizabeth Taylor, that dog. And that his wife had found on Amazon this product called Tiger Toes. And what it is are little socks that, I used to put on my mom because I didn't want her to slip and fall. They put them on you when you're at the hospital. They have like little tread and grippy socks, they're called now. But they make them for dogs. They make them for dogs. And they're called Tiger Toe. And so I was very thrilled to find that all of a sudden I'm getting hit with ads for Tiger Toes. Everywhere I, am connected. Everywhere I'm on the internet. My phone, the advertising that's put into, my computer when I browse or search, all of the little marketing, cookies and they all follow you around okay. So they do have the ability to read your email. And they're not like sitting there going, oh, she's talking about. No, they're scanning it for marketing words, for things you might be interested in so they can market to you. And the cost of buying this stuff is pretty high up. And this is really a very large profit center. Selling your information, your data, selling it is massive. It's huge, humongous business, okay? And so just know that they can scan the emails and the text messages of people who work in the civil service. And they can deduce whether or not they have liberal leanings. And if they do, the desire is to purge them from our government. It's the Stasi, but an algorithm. So Jim McGovern got on the floor yesterday and was like literally beside himself about the purges, about the offerings for the heads of our departments, about the records of these people, about their ability to manage these massive programs that affect and touch everybody's life, from your children all the way up to in the middle, the food that we eat and buy and how much it will cost us, all the way to the tippy top of disabled people and Medicare recipients and Medicaid, which pays for destitute, seniors to be taken care of in nursing homes.
I do not believe any of what my Republican friends are talking about on the floor today is in line with what the American people voted for. They voted for cheaper groceries, not whatever the hell this stuff is. They are asking us to vote for a bill, my Republican friends, that would give the incoming administration the ability to revoke the nonprofit status of any advocacy group they want, just by labeling them as a terrorist sympathizer. A bill that would give President-elect Trump a new power to just unilaterally accuse an American group of terrorism and then shut them down. Oh, God. Again, no guardrails for an administration that says it will go after the enemy within. Just a bill that gives them power to do that on day one. And meanwhile, every decision that has been made by this incoming administration so far has not been about the American people. It has been about them. I'm reading the newspaper again this morning that they want to issue blank pardons to those who committed crimes on January 6th. Republicans call them political prisoners. I mean, these are people who were arrested, indicted, tried, and convicted by juries and judges in courtrooms across this country for violently attacking our brave law enforcement officers. People who smashed cops in the heads with metal barricades, who jammed them indoors until blood was coming out of their mouths. And the incoming administration is thinking about pardoning them? Let that sink in, everybody. Let that sink in. And before I'm accused of harping on January 6th, I'm not the one bringing it up. The incoming president-elect is.
Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to randyrhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.